What if I told you a black immigrant woman who wasn't even born in America rose through one of the toughest institutions in the world and became a United States Army general? Not because doors were handed to her, but because she refused to stop walking through them. And this is the story they don't talk about enough. And trust me, bet you didn't know. You know, in a world where immigrants are often reduced to stereotypes, where black excellence is too often ignored, and where women in leadership still face resistance, one woman shattered every expectation placed in front of her. Amanda Azubuike. Born in London, raised between cultures, the daughter of a Nigerian father and Zimbabwean mother, she came to America with uncertainty, but also with a vision. And in 1989, she stood in a naturalization ceremony and swore allegiance to a country that was not originally her own. But what makes this story powerful is not just what she became an American, it's that she chose to serve America before she even officially became a citizen. Think about that. Before she had status, before she had rank, before she had recognition, she already believed this country was worth defending. And decades later, that same immigrant woman would stand in the Pentagon as a Brigadier General in the United States Army. This isn't just a military story. It's a story about perseverance. It's a story about sacrifice. It's a story about discipline. It's a story about identity and breaking barriers nobody expected her to break.
My name is Amanda Azubuike. I am the Deputy Commanding General for Cadet Command, and in the summer I serve as the Commandant for Cadet Summer Training. Well, first of all, I never thought I would be here. I get asked all the time about becoming a general. Never did I ever. So the day that I received my star, I really felt honored. I recognize the gravity of this moment. I recognize the responsibility, the expectations, as well as the scrutiny that comes with this promotion. I also recognize the power of representation and the importance of diverse teams. It was a bittersweet moment for me because neither one of my parents are living. So you certainly think about all the people that help you get there. And generally speaking, at the top of the list, it's always family.
I am extremely proud of her. It was probably the most amazing moment in my life experiencing a family member's achievement.
Amanda I. Azubuike is authorized and directed to wear
We had a lot of family members there to see it, but, you know, my mom not seeing this moment of having this daughter that is an immigrant, that's Zimbabwean and Nigerian, that makes it to general. Like, these are things in American history you read in textbooks.
My mom is from Zimbabwe. My dad is Nigerian, so my last name is Igbo, and it means strength. I was born and raised in London, England, and I have a sister. My parents were educated in London, and that's where they met. My mom became a nurse. My dad became a lawyer. After my mom and dad divorced, so we moved to the States with my mom. She was a nurse. They were recruiting nurses in the U.S. I was 14. My sister was 12. And we had no family in the U.S. And we moved to Arkansas. So I went to high school. I went to junior high school, and college in Arkansas. Growing up with my sister, my mom was very strict and very focused on education. So we both were raised to work hard and do well. We also had a really great role model in our mom, in that she really instilled in us that if you work hard, you really can achieve anything. And so we both really worked hard. My sister knew that she wanted to be a doctor from a very young age. And so That was kind of her trajectory. I had started off in Air Force Junior ROTC in high school, which is what put the military bug in my ear. And so when I applied for college, not being a U.S. citizen, I was looking for a way to pay for college. And so I enlisted in the Army. And I actually was back then they called it a nuclear biological chemical specialist. Once I got back from training, I went to college. And in college, I found out about ROTC, which is Reserve Officer Training Corps, we are the headquarters for ROTC, U.S. Army Cadet Command, and decided that I was going to become an officer. And so that's what I did.
Now, what makes her story even more impressive is that she entered one of the most male-dominated spaces in the military, aviation. She became a UH-1 Huey pilot in 1995, mastering aircraft, leadership, and combat readiness in environments where women, especially black women, were often underestimated. She didn't just rise through popularity, she rose through performance. Amanda Azubuike served in Kuwait, Afghanistan, Egypt, and South Korea. Supporting operations connected to both Iraq and Afghanistan, she served in war zones, in intelligence operations, and eventually in public affairs leadership, which means her influence stretched from combat readiness to how the military communicated with the world itself. And let's be honest, stories like this challenge stereotypes, because far too often society pushes one narrative about immigrants, it pushes one narrative about black people, and it pushes one narrative about women. But Amanda Azubuike's life destroys simplistic thinking. Excellence has no accent, and basically, I don't even hear one from her. And discipline has no skin color, and leadership has no gender.
Your junior years when you prioritize what it is you want to do in the Army, and aviation was my top choice. And I was selected for Army aviation. And so when I graduated a year later, I went on to flight school.
She also was very, very athletic and didn't play high school or college sports. So the military sort of was a great fit for her to sort of develop that athleticism as well as the discipline, as well as having the opportunity to become an officer and a pilot.
I met General Azubuike while at the gym working out in Fort Jackson. And when I walked into the gym, she was one of the most physically fit people that I saw in the gym. I walked over and I spoke to her and I said, "Hey, who are you?" And we introduced ourselves, and I found out she was from Nigeria as well. So we became friends instantly, and we've been friends for over 22 years. Yeah, awesome.
But it's been a good summer.
Yeah.
Joining Army was through my JROTC program in high school.
General Azubuike is absolutely just a phenomenal leader and a role model for all of our cadets and for our Army. Every summer, we run cadet summer training. We train 10,000 cadets in 100 days. And so 8,000 of them, come through here, from the beginning of June all the way through the mid-August, where we train them in the basic soldier skills on how to be a soldier. And then we give them lots of opportunities in leadership positions to hone their responsibility to be leaders, whether that's in our Army or outside of our Army. And that's what she does for the summer. And she runs all of that for the Army in what is the largest training exercise that the Army runs each and every year. And so it takes a phenomenal leader to be able to do that. And Amanda is exactly that.
Being that this is a male-dominated field, I certainly felt pressure to do well, which made me work harder. I recognized that Many times when I enter the room, I'm the only female or I'm the only person of color in the room. And certainly I put pressure on myself.
What it took for Amanda Azubuike to get to the pinnacle of her career where she is right now, it is really just, it is hard work, it is leadership in it, but it's really just the engaging personality that she has and her ability to communicate and engage with soldiers.
I think what's made me successful is the hard work. I was not necessarily the smartest person. I was an AB student, but I really worked hard. I always tell cadets, because they always ask, what do I need to do to be successful? And I always say, learn your craft, master your craft, because once you master your craft, it gives you, you're competent for one, but that gives you confidence. And you need that confidence in order to lead others. And once your soldiers see that you're competent and confident, they'll begin to trust you. And you want that trust. I see what representation does for those coming up. I have people coming up to me all the time, especially females and especially minorities, because for so long they haven't seen someone that either looks like them or is different, right? And so I recognize that. And so I feel extremely blessed and privileged to be in this position because I get to see young people and talk to young people who aspire to be in the military and do great things every day.
Seeing the general just excel in every way possible shows and that there isn't as many obstacles as there were before for people like us. I feel like a lot of the time people don't understand how representation matters, and just having her in that space or in that position where a little African child or any girl can look up and say, if she can do it, I definitely can.
General Azubuike is absolutely just a phenomenal leader and a role model for all of our cadets and for our Army.
I am extremely proud of her for many different reasons. I think it's such an amazing achievement, and I'm always enamored by women or women of color achieving great things. And I'm always like, my sister's a general. My sister's a general. She created her legacy, something that, you know, she and our heritage can always be proud of. And it is so amazing and so deserving.
I started in the Army strictly because I needed money for school, but I stayed in the Army because of the opportunities and the people. They paid for both of my master's degrees. I've traveled all over the world. I've met different people, and you really get a sense of pride serving in the military. It's something that's bigger than yourself. It's just been a great opportunity, and I also feel like this country has given so much to me and my family. It's a way of paying back.
So Amanda Azubuike's story is bigger than rank, bigger than politics, bigger than headlines. It's the story of what can happen when opportunity meets determination. From London to American citizenship to military aviation to the Pentagon, she proved that your beginning doesn't have to define your ending. And in a time where division dominates the conversation, stories like this remind us of something important, that greatness can come from anywhere. Not because life is easy, but because some people refuse to surrender to limitations. And Amanda Azubuike didn't ask permission to make history. She earned it. And the truth is, most people never hear stories like this. Because stories that inspire discipline, excellence, and perseverance don't create as much noise as controversy. But today, we salute her. So continue to renew your mind in all you can do. Enough said.